Leviticus 19:31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards, to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. The scriptures continuously warn humanity, warn human beings, warn believers not to partake into witchcraft. But for the unbelieving world, they ignore the warnings of God because they do not believe in God. They do not believe in Jesus Christ. To understand this brief little video that I'm making here, I would recommend you watch the one that I made about a week and a half ago called Interstellar and Time Travel, where we talk about science and different things like that. Bottom line, in my humble opinion, and this is just my opinion, take it for what it's worth, I believe that a lot of what we call science in our modern day age is nothing more than witchcraft. And I believe that CERN is nothing more, nothing less than a ritual. The reason I'm making this little brief video is because I get asked this question a lot every single week about the topic of CERN. And we also see a lot of misinformation and a lot of new age information that is being tied in with Christianity when it comes to the topic of CERN. There's individuals like Begley who have no problem introducing individuals like a Mike from around the world and others into the church, and these individuals are bringing new age concepts, mixing them up with a few little scriptures here and there, and confusing the daylights out of people. There's also the great preachings of Charles Larson, for example. He did a great job talking about this topic. Other brothers and sisters, Fidake 213, and many others, too many to name, honestly, that are doing a great job for Jesus Christ. So there is the good, and then there's the bad, like Paul Begley and others. So let's deal with a little bit about CERN really quickly here. We see that CERN is a large portion of CERN. The European Laboratory for Particle Physics is located in the territory of St. Genès Poli. The Alice Department is located on the periphery of the town. And the main entrance to the primary CERN campus, Marin, and the Atlas experiment are located only 3 kilometers from the center of St. Genès. More information regarding this city. It's a very important city in that region because it is probable that under the Roman occupation, the church in the village was to be dedicated to Apollon, which we know as Apollo. Toward the end of this time, St. Genès took on greater importance. So in this region, we see that a church in the village was to be dedicated to Apollo. And we see that in Revelation 9:11, it says, "And they had a king over them, which is the king of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon." It is because of this Bible verse, and we see what is occurring at CERN, that they actually built this in a large majority of it in the town that was dedicated to Apollo, that one cannot help but compare the two. Not that this definitely means that this is a fulfillment of what's happening in Revelation 9:11, but very interesting for sure, because what is happening at CERN is nothing more than a witchcraft ritual. Understand that what happened before is happening again, and there's nothing new under the sun. If you look at CERN, one of the entrances to the CERN machine is huge. This is an image that I got from the Large Hadron Collider. Look at how big it is. There's a man in the middle at the bottom, just so that you can compare the large scale of this machine. And there are many other images of it, but this particular image is very, very interesting because it has something that many are just finding interesting. Let's just say that. If you notice the image here when it comes to the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, you'll see that it has different bars coming out of it. There is a wheel in the middle, obviously, and then there's different big bars coming out of it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you see that? And it's very interesting because at CERN they decided to pick Kali, the goddess of destruction, to put as an emblem in front of their building. And it's very interesting because those 8 big tube bars, whatever you want to call it, that it's coming out of CERN, it's very, very similar to what you see in different cultures. The wheel of the Dharma in Hinduism, very similar to Kali. In the wheel of the Dharma, you have a circle in the middle, and in that circle you have the elements. Now, to different Hindus, this means different things. To some, it means Buddha. To others, it means earth, fire, and different things like that. There's a wide variety of different people that can tell you the meaning of what the elements are in the middle. But there's also something interesting about that because it also has 8 spokes. If you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In the lotus flower, you see the same thing again. In the lotus flower, many people get that tattoo and they think, oh, it's so beautiful, oh, it's so cool. But it also has the same thing. It has the circle with the elements flowing within it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spokes all around it. If you look at the Catholic Church, for example, in the Catholic Church, it has a sun wheel with the obelisk, which, you know, the obelisk is one of those things that is pagan to the core. And you know the ties between the obelisk and Nimrod. The sun wheel in front of the Catholic Church, you see in Vatican City, it has also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then in the middle, you have what would be the elements in the wheel of Dharma. Here you have the obelisk, represents the male organ. You know what I'm talking about. Children watch these, so we're not going to go into anything that we're going to use words that I wouldn't use in front of my daughter. But the male reproductive organ, okay? So we see this tie here. We see that in the Wiccan religion, they also have the wheel as well of the year. You're soon beginning to see that what you see in one world religion, you see in other world religions. You're starting to see that these are the same deceptive lies packaged in different ways. The same deception found in different ways, because Satan is a deceiver. As Ecclesiastes 1:9 says, the thing that has been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done, it is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. In witchcraft, the 8 different spokes of their wheel, one is Ostara, one is Beltane, one is Midsummer, one is Longsadi. I can't even read that. But as you can see, it also has the 8 spokes as well. You find this everywhere. You find it at CERN, you find it at Vatican City, you find it in Wiccanism, you find it also in the Lego Dimensions. Lego Dimensions has a new thing that they're promoting, and with Lego it also has a portal, and their portal has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you find that in all of those things. There's a big rise in portals and movies. There's always different things that are being portrayed, because you have to understand that out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. And one of Satan's biggest mouthpiece on earth is Hollywood, perverting and preparing society for destruction. So my goal is that at least you understand the basics of it, and you understand that this is a witchcraft ritual. I don't care if a scientist stand up and start telling you that this is this, that, and the other. To a scientist, they're doing an experiment. But the elements that they're dealing with, just as in the circle of the Dharma there's elements, just as in the Catholic Church they have the obelisk, the scientists, they have the protons and the neutrons and this and that and the other. But let me share with you one thing. They're tapping into something very occult and very, very wicked. They may call it science, but it's nothing more than diabolical. And it's a ritual. That's all it is. Why am I saying that? Is because you have to be careful of the misinformation being thrown out there. by a lot of different people that either try to hype it up way too much, or some they may even say, oh, it's meaningless. It's not meaningless. When you have all of the nations around the world coming together as one to try to recreate creation, well, they call it the Big Bang. It's a very, very wicked thing. It is man trying to be God again. Except that the elements that they're tapping into are playing them. They're being played. They're being played. Big time. Satan comes as an angel of light, and he's deceiving this whole world. But along with deceiving the whole world, you have to understand that he has his agents on earth too. Some of them that may even be called quote-unquote Christians, but they're mixing in deceptions with the truth. They are. They'll sprinkle a little bit of truth in a few Bible verses, but throw you down a very, very dangerous path. Check this out from Paul Begley. In 2 Timothy 4 verses 3 and 4, it says, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itchy ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables." There's a lot of people that love this type of information, but they don't love the Jesus that is behind the information. They don't love the truth. You see, they love the sci-fi elements of all of this, but they don't want to know about Jesus Christ. They don't want to know about the truth of Jesus. They don't want to know about the fact that there's only one way. They don't want to understand that these are fallen angels. They don't want to understand that CERN is nothing more than a piece of witchcraft. It's witchcraft. It is a piece of art that this world is creating with technology, but it is witchcraft. And because of that, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. Take a look at this clip from the Paul Begley show, and this is a clip where he had a guy called Mike from around the world, and that's another thing I want to share with you. Isn't it interesting how all of these ex-CIA, this ex-military intel ops, and instead of going to hide out on an island, they just all show up on YouTube? It's just amazing. I'm just gonna say that. I am in the 5th commanding unit of the this, and I know. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And some of them may be true, but I'll be honest with you. They're feeding you a lot of New Age fables. New Age fables. Check out this introduction to the Paul Begley show. It is almost like the introduction to the All-Star game, an NBA All-Star game, when you're introducing Michael Jordan. You know, very similar. Check this out. And then here's some of the garbage that they're spewing there. In the name of Jesus, of course. Check this out.
Shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Welcome to the coming apocalypse. An analysis of today's headlines and how Bible prophecy is unfolding before your very eyes. Please welcome now your host, an anointed preacher, radio talk show host, prophetic teacher who travels globally and has a genuine love for people. Your pastor and mine. Please welcome Pastor Paul Begley.
Thank you so much, Deborah.
Salvation Station. Salvation Station. Salvation Station.
We want to welcome everyone to hour number 2. We're going to be talking about the CERN, the secrets of the CERN. We're actually going to be having Mike from around the world be with us in any minute now. We're looking for him now. Okay.
A person has both dark and light already in them. It's part of their makeup. It's what you can't live in a material world without antimatter. Nothing would exist.
Right.
And so a person has both good that good energy, which would be this realm, this realm of matter, but they also have energy of antimatter. So they're connected. A person is connected to both realms at the same time on the energy level, and they don't even know it. They don't know it. From another dimension coming here. What is CERN going to do? It's going to allow humanity to produce pounds of antimatter.
So the demonic forces, the demon spirits, when God says Satan is the prince of the power of the air, he's saying Satan lives in the antimatter world. He lives in that
everywhere.
He's in that dimension, which is everywhere. Right.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Just like God is omnipresent, so is Lucifer. 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 Just like God is omnipresent, so is Lucifer.
John 8:12. Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. And in this radio show, the entire thing, they're continuously talking about good energy and bad energy. They're telling you that every human being has both darkness and light, that it creates a balance. And in one portion, the individual Mike from around the world even goes to say that even in the Garden of Eden, that there was a balance between light and darkness. It's pretty sick here. And the problem here is that Paul Begley doesn't agree with it. Then just say, hey, you know what, you're a false teacher, I won't invite you again. But the only thing that he can say is, what you know he'll say is, are you serious? No, are you serious feeding this garbage to us? Are you serious? And it's funny because every time these special intel ex-CIA agents show up on YouTube, nobody knows about this, but I know. I sure know. You know, it's like, come on, man. You know, church, please. Please, they're feeding you a lot of new age with the information that they're giving you. They're telling you about light, darkness. They're telling you about dark matter, this and that and the other. Listen, before any of that was, Ephesians 6:12 already told you, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
Just like God is omnipresent, so is Lucifer. Just like God is omnipresent, so is Lucifer. Just like God is omnipresent, so is Lucifer.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Now I'm going to ask the question that Paul Begley always is, are you serious? Isn't that his phrase? Are you serious? Now, I'm going to ask that question. On his radio show about CERN, where he hyped it up, indicating that he's bringing a guy named Mike from around the world. Obviously, these ex-CIA intels just happen to show up on YouTube. It's just amazing to me. It just baffles my mind. And he says that Satan is omnipresent? Satan wants to be as God. Satan is not God. But according to Begley, Satan is omnipresent. That is a deception, folks. It is a deception. And then he goes on and says,
when God says Satan is the prince of the power of the air, he's saying Satan lives in the antimatter world. He lives in that
everywhere.
That when in Ephesians 2:12 it says, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air. The spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedient, that God was really saying, the prince of the antimatter world. No, that's not what Jesus is saying. That's what you're saying. Because according to the fable, that the military, whatever that guy is, that obviously, you know, I don't believe none of that. I'm sorry. I just don't. Like, according to that man says, you have to try to tie the Bible now into what he's saying. And that's just not true. The Bible doesn't say that Satan is the prince of the antimatter world. This doesn't say that. It just doesn't say that. And the scriptures don't say that Lucifer is omnipresent. And the scriptures don't say that in every human being there is darkness and light. The scriptures tell us, contrary to that if you're a believer, in John 8:12, then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. If you're in Jesus Christ, you are to have no darkness in you. But according to Mike from around the world and Paul Begley, every human being has darkness and light in them.
Okay.
A person has both dark and light already in them.
Okay.
A person has both dark and light already in them.
Okay.
A person has both dark and light already in them.
Not only that, but if you listen to the entire podcast, they start talking about the balances of energy and good and bad energy and light and darkness. And at one point in time, they even say that in the Garden of Eden, there was both light and darkness to create a balance. That's nothing more than New Age information, family. Tied in with CERN. That's the yin and the yang. And the reason people are falling for this is because a lot of people, they're falling for the deception due to the fact that they, via their own lusts, shall heap to themselves teachers having itchy ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. The implications of CERN are serious. It is the world's top scientists coming together to try to play God. It is witchcraft. That is what it is. And many are tying it to Revelation 9:11, and that could be the case. I don't know that part. But one thing I do know is that Satan was able to appear to Jesus Christ and tempt him in the desert, and he didn't have CERN then. And another thing I do know is in Ephesians 6:12 it already told us that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places, far before CERN was in place. So I know that a lot of people want to tie wickedness with CERN, but understand one thing. Satan loves to give men the impression that they're in control. That's what he does with witches. That's what he does with Satanists. That's what he does with all of those individuals that are tied to the demonic. He lets them feel that they're in control. And that is the same thing he's doing with CERN. He's letting these scientists feel that they're the ones creating something out of nothing. But they don't understand that they're being played. That they're being played by the demonic, by the prince of the power of the air, not the prince of the power of the dark matter. And that they're being used. And that they're being manipulated. And that this entire world is being prepped and set up to receive the Antichrist. Because just think of how easy it's going to be for him to tie Wiccanism, witchcraft, the Catholic Church, CERN, Hinduism, sun worship with the sun wheel. It's going to be very easy for him to tie that into. This is why the church must come out from among that harlot system. And if it so happens to be that CERN is what Satan is using to make humanity think that via a portal they can talk to other dimensions, and if that is really what is going to happen, I still have bad news for Satan. I still do. Because even if CERN is what's going to open the abyss, that we don't know. But you know what we do know? That Satan is defeated. And then in Revelation 21:3, look at what it says. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hands. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosened a little season. I don't know what's going to open the abyss, but in Revelation 9 it gives you a good clue that he was given a key to it. But I do know the end result. And the end result is Jesus has already won. Beware of the deception. Beware of the lies. And keep your eyes open, people, because the devil is a liar. I love every single one of you very much. Remember that on our website you can always ask for prayer requests, and we're always there for you. We have forums, we have different things for you to interact, and we love you greatly. God bless you and your family. Thank you.